Hi everyone, this is Vishal here from DrapCode. So in this video, we will understand how to build a multi-tenant SaaS platform on DrapCode or a multi-tenant application on DrapCode. So multi-tenant projects or multi-tenant applications are applications where there are several tenants or several organizations, several companies. Each one will see the data which they own or which they have uploaded or which belongs to them, and no other there is no sharing of data between two tenants or between two organization companies. Okay, but admin can see everything. So this is a multi-tenant application. Use cases could be a CRM. So a CRM has a company and there are many employees which are accessing the CRM, many people who are accessing the CRM, but each salesperson is only seeing the data of his or her company, depending on hierarchy, whether they are manager, whether they are a sales lead, whether they are VP of sales. So you can show height what exact data they want to show, but in any case they will only see the data which is belong to their organization or to their company. Similar to a hotel management platform, where the hotel staff will only see the bookings, the rooms, the staff details of their hotel. Okay, or maybe in case of hospital management or school management or a company management, so company will only see the employees of the company. Employees will be able to access the resources, the material of the company, and if you add a new employee, if you remove an employee, everything will get associated to the company, so that as soon as someone new joins, they will be able to see all the data which belongs to that particular company. So company, hospital, that school, hotel, all these are organization, or you call it as tenant. Here we are not going to use the multi-tenant plugin which we have, because that is something which is needed for much more advanced version when you want to send email from email addresses of each individual organization, when you want hierarchy, when you want permission management, that the team members should be able to manage the permission of their team members or colleagues within the same organization. So that is used for much more advanced concepts. Here we are building a basic multi-tenant project where each person is seeing the data which is owned or which belongs to their particular tenant or their particular organization. So let's see how this can be done. So we have 4 collections here: user, role, e-commerce store, and product. Okay, so user and role got installed as part of login plugin. So we have 2 roles, which is admin and user. We can also create one more role, let's say store owner. Okay, now admin will see everything on the platform, all the stores, all the products, everything. User are basically the users, or let's say employees of the store. Okay, let's say I'll rename it to store employees. Role of store employees and store owner. Okay, so now let's go to the config. Let's go to other collections. So as of now, there is no relation between product and store. Let's create a parent-child relationship. So I'll go to e-commerce store. As of now, it has only name, so I'll add field. It has many products, and I'll give a reference of product. Okay, products. So these are the products of the store, which is product. Display the name product. Drop down and a multi-select. So store will have multiple products. This is good enough. Let's go to product and give the mapping for store. Product. So as of now, product has name, description, manufacturing date, and status. I'll add one more field, which is a child of store. Okay. Here we'll choose e-commerce store, and this is the field which we created in the e-commerce store. So this basically sets the parent-child relationship, and I'll say display the name and use it here in field text field is fine, and I saved it. So now we have created a parent-child relationship between store and products. Let's try adding some store. Let's try adding some products. So e-commerce store, as of now we have none. So let's add one store. Store 1. Save. Let's add one more. Let's add few products. In the products, so let's add product. I'll say product 1, store 1, description is same, manufacturing date is something, status available, and store is store 1. Add one more, product to store 1. Product 1 store 2. Product 2 is store 2. Okay, so I've created 4 products, 2 for each store. Now let's build a relationship between store and its employees, which are the users with the different roles. So as of now, user has like couple of fields. So it's username, email, password. Okay, so let's add one more field, that which store they belongs to. So I'll give reference and I'll say store. Okay, and e-commerce store name, that's all. So now each person will belong to a store, not exactly belong to, there's a reference relationship. So we can also create a parent-child relationship, that the store has multiple products and store has multiple employees, and each employee will be able to see the products which are owned by that particular store. So if some employee leaves or if some new employee join, they will still be able to access that data, because the data is dependent or linked to the store, not with the user. So the products are at the store level, not at the user level. So now let's go and add some user. So let's add some user. I'll say username is store1, email let's say store1, okay, role is store employee, let's say in store 1, and I'll create one user for store 2. Okay, role is store employee, let's say in store 1, and I'll create one user for store 2. Role is store employee, and this belongs to store 2. So we have added users, we have added products, we have added store. So now let's build the UI. So we have couple of pages created, but we'll just quickly see. So we have a login page, sign up, forgot password, and all those things. We have dashboard. This is a store dashboard, admin dashboard, product list for store, admin product list for admin, product edit for admin, and product edit for store. Okay, but all these pages are blank, so there is no data. All these pages are blank, so we'll do designing one by one. So let's go to the dashboard store. So first we'll change the setting that only the store owner and store employee should be able to access this page. Update it. Okay, so this is product list page. In the dashboard also store owner employee, this is done. Let's go and change the event, since we have did some changes in the role name, so we need to modify the event. Okay, in the login event, I'll say whenever the user is a store employee, take him to a store dashboard, which is fine. Okay, and whenever is a admin, take them to admin dashboard. Okay, this is fine, this we don't need. Store employees will go to store dashboard, and let's say store owner will also go to store dashboard. Okay, that's fine. Now let's go to the product list page and display the products. So here as of now there is nothing, so I'll drop a data table. I'll say get data from collection. Collection is product. Okay, and it is displaying all items by default. So let's go and change this, because we don't want to display all items. We want to display the items which are part of that particular store. I'll remove these classes. Table is table bordered, so that it looks good. So let's go to the filters. So as of now, we have just one filter, which is basically bringing all the products. Now, if I go and create product from a user, I want that product to be associated to a store, right? So, and a store has a product mapping. So let's create a filter. So I want to get the products of the current user's store. So whoever is the logged in user, to which store they belong to, bring all the products which have the same store. So how do we do it? So this is the most important part and one of the complex part. Okay, where you have to create a right query. So I'll say all products of current user store. Okay, so I'll say find all matching item, add condition. So now I want to say that bring me all the products where store is equal to current logged in user, which field? Store field. So this is the most important part. Here you are basically bringing the data of that particular tenant. So whenever someone will log in, they will see the products which are owned by their store. So product has a store, and here I have done the mapping that for this user, bring all the products where the store is equal to current logged in user store. So I'll just go and save this and I'll create filter. Okay, and we'll create count filter also. Count of all current user store products, let's say. Okay, so here selector, I'll say count, same condition. I'll say count all the products where store is equal to current logged in user, choose field, store. You can add more condition. Let's say you want to count available products, not available products. So you can just add condition and status is available and date and all those things, right? So I created two filters. One is a list filter, one is a count filter. So let's go back to pages and I'll say product list page. Here we have already list down the table. So we just bind the filter. So I remove the table, I drop a new data table, okay, and get data from collection product. And here you can see the new filters which we just created. All products of current user store. So I'll say all product of current user store. So this is it. Remove it. So we'll just remove all these things not needed. Okay, and let's see here. Name, description we don't need. Instead of description, let's display the store. Okay, in the table I remove these classes which is striped and bordered because I don't need them. Okay, and let's preview this. So now I will log in as an user and I will be able to see the products which are owned by my particular store. So we had this user store 1. Let's go to product list page. I'll set the right permissions. Okay, so that all these pages are visible only to store owners and store employees. I'll reload this. So I am seeing the product of one store 1. Okay, I am not seeing other products. I am only seeing the products which are of store 1. So let's create a new product. Okay, so as of now we have not configured the product create page. So let's go and do it. So I'll go to product create page. So here we will be using the hidden field because I want a product to be associated to some store, right? And I don't want user to explicitly add that store. So we have not done it. So let's do it. Here I'll say e-commerce store. It will generate the form behind the scene. So a product. We already have a save product event, which is just saving and redirecting to dashboard. We'll see it quickly. Okay, so here name of the product, description, manufacturing date, status, and store. So now you can see it is actually taking the store, but I don't want these fields to be provided by the user, right? I want this to be explicitly get saved as a new product gets created. Okay, so we'll do something to do it. So we'll come here, the correction folder, and remove this class. Okay, now I want to set some default value. So I'll say get content from logged in user. So whoever is creating the product, to whatever store they belongs to, I want the same stores to be assigned to this particular product. So I'll say get value from logged in user, and here I'll say store ID because it's a reference field. So I will have to store ID, right? So we'll have to pass the store ID. So now whenever a new product gets created, this is the store ID which will get passed to that product so that it get associated with that particular store, right? So this is it. Now I don't want user to see this, and I don't even want them to change this. So what I'll do, I'll just go and mark it as hidden, gone. If I want them to update the status, we can ask it, or we can also send this as a hidden field, right? So let's send this as a hidden field. What I'll do, I'll go to my form, drop my input field here, get the name from here, assign the name to this field, and value I'll say get fixed value, which is available. Okay, so it will set a fixed value, and I'll remove this. In this field also I'll mark it as hidden. So I don't want my user to provide me the store or the status. Okay, status is by default available, and store is whoever is the logged in user, that is the default store. Okay, I'll just rewrote this page. So if we go to the collection, we have let's go to the product collection. We have these 4 products. Okay, now let's create a new product. If you want to see what we are doing in product event, let's just check it quickly. Save product, it's just saving the data, which is a product, and then just redirecting the user back to product list page, nothing else. So I'll say product 3 store 1 because I'm logged in as a user, store 1, some description, some date. Now I'll say submit. So it has stored the product and redirected me to store 1. So here you see product 3, the store 1 is already assigned because that is something which we have passed in the hidden. So this is another important aspect of a multi-tenant SaaS, that the data whatever you are seeing should be of your organization or your tenant, plus the data whatever you are creating should also be linked to that particular organization or that particular tenant. So these are the 2 most important aspects of a multi-tenant SaaS, so that every tenant sees or plays with the data which belongs to them. If I go to my collection and if I reload this, you see product 3 store 1, this. Now if I want to add another user, okay, let's say there is one more user for a particular tenant, what they will see. So let's go and add user. So I'll say, let's say user store 1, something like that. Okay, store user 11. Okay, so this is another user of the same store. Let's say the old employee left and the new employee came. Now when he log in, what they will see. Now let's log out from this particular person, okay, and log in as another user of the same store. Sign out. So this is another employee of the same store. If you go to the product list page, they will still see all the products which are owned by that particular store. And if they create one more product, let's say now this user is adding product 4 store 1. So product 4 store 1 also here. Now if the store owner wants to see that who has created this product, so we have this field called created by, which we assign to all the data which gets created in DrapCode. So you can actually see, let's go to the product created at and created by. So let's display created by. The product is page. Let's say as a store owner, I want to see that who has created all these records. How do I do it? So now let's just duplicate these columns and display created by. It will or let's say the email of the person who created it. So I'll say created by email. Similarly, you can add updated by and all these things. So now if I reload the page, this store owner or maybe another employee of the same store, I can actually see that who created these. So these are the products which were created before this user, because we created these from the builder. Okay, but once you start creating data from this, from the end application, this will get captured. This do not get captured when you store from the builder. So ignore this for now. So here you see product 3 was created by user store 1, but product 4 was created by store user 1. So that is the difference. So it is actually capturing that who created it and what was the default status. And each other people are able to see the data of their particular organization. So if you are building a multi-tenant SaaS, maybe there are five employees of a company, or maybe 5 employees of a hospital or a school, and they want to see the data of students. So each one will see the students, all the students of their particular school. And if new user gets created, they will still be able to see all the data, because there is no dependency on that who created data. It is all dependent on which particular tenant, which particular school or organization owns the data. So I'm creating new product, I'm able to see it. Now let's log in as some other employee, some other store. Okay, so I'll just log out. Let's log in as an employee of another store and see what they are seeing. So I'll go to the user. I'll log in as a store of user 2. I'll log out from here. Log in as a store owner of user or store employee of store 2. Now if I go to product list page, I am seeing the data which is of store 2. I am not seeing the data which was created by someone else. Now if I create the data here, so let's say I create one product. Okay. Product 5 store 2, some description, this thing, submit. So now I am seeing the data of store 2, right? If you want to create users, how do you do it? Let's say you want the capability for this particular store owner to be able to create store users. How do you do it? So that is very straightforward. Okay, let's add one page. Let's say add page. Create store user. I'll say from existing page, let's say we copy it from product create page, so that we don't have to explicitly design everything. And as of now, I am giving permission to store employee and owner both to create user. We can also create a way that okay, only store owner should be able to create new store users. That is something which you can easily handle by creating one more dashboard for a store owner and have that particular option only for the store owner. Okay, as of now, since we have one common dashboard for store employees and owners, so we are doing it this way. So I'll say create store user. Okay, so this is the name use. I'll just remove this form. Okay, now I'll add a new collection form. This time I want to create a user. Okay, so we don't have an event yet. We will create the event, but let's just create the form. So this is it. Okay, maybe we'll link it somewhere here. Okay, so username will ask from user, email will ask, password will ask, role and store something which we don't want to ask from the person who is creating, because role should be default as a store employee and store should be the current logged in user store. So let's see how that can be done. So that is very easy, like we have already done it using hidden field. So I'll go here and I'll take input, drop it here. I'll copy the name, that this is roles. Okay, what role we want to give? So I'll say role. I'll say get fixed value. So it has opened this value pop-up. I'll go and check what all roles I have. So I want to give this role store employees. So I copy it and put it as store employees and remove this one. Store, same thing. Store will take it from the current logged in user, that whatever is the store of the user, to this new employee assign the same store. So I'll say store, which is I'll put it here. Value, I'll say get value from logged in user, and here I'll say store ID. So these two fields I want to assign automatically. I don't want user to give me this information, and let's preview it. Before previewing it, let's add it to the left menu so that we can see. Okay, so I'll go to the left menu of store owner and store employee. So you see, it is giving a default role and it is also giving the store ID. So let's add here product create. Let's say in the account, I'll say create store user, link it to the page which we just created, which is create store user. That's all. Now it will be reflected everywhere. Okay, and let's say store users list. So we'll have to create one more filter to display this list, but yeah, I think we can leave this for now. Now let's go and create an event. So I'll say create an event where I say create store user. This is simple. We'll say in the collection save data, because we are saving a new user. Okay, constructor everything leave as, let's say store user created successfully, error. After that, we want to redirect the user back to the dashboard. That's all what we want to do. Navigation, page redirect, dashboard. That's all what we want to do. Okay, now let's go and bind this particular event to this particular form. So I'll choose the collection form. I'll go to the settings, and in the event I'll say create store user. This is what exactly I want to do, right? So let's reload this page and create one more user, let's say for store 1. Okay, so here all these values are coming as pre-filled, so I'll just hide them. I'll mark it as hidden. This is also I hide them. So when a store owner or a store employee is creating a new user, they are only giving the username, email and password. Okay, so username, it's test11. Now store user 111. Okay, 3 times 1. So a new store user is now created. Store user created successfully. If I go to my collection, if I reload this, the new store user is created, which is now created by the store owner or store employee themselves. Admin has not done anything. Right, now let's log in with this particular user. So I log out and I log in with this user. And if you go to product list, he should be able to see the products which are part of his particular store. So now he is seeing product store. Okay, because this is store 1, user 1. I think this we have created for store 2. Okay, so we have created store 2, hence they are seeing product store 2. So now this particular user is able to see the products of his or her store. So this user also belongs to the store, products also belongs to the store. If the store, anyone in the store creating users, creating products, creating anything, they also belong to the same store, and everyone see the data which belongs to that particular store. Same thing happens for any entity, whether it's a hospital, a company, or a school, anything, right? So each one is adding people to their team. You can give roles, you can give more permission. That is, you can cover in, we'll cover in a multi-tenant SaaS plugin. But here you get the basic understanding that how the data gets managed across a different multi-tenant application. Hope this is clear now. See you again in the next video. Bye bye.